I never expected a simple idea could spiral into something so destructive. My name is Ryan, and I'm 36. My wife, Claire, had always been ambitious, creative, and sometimes a little impulsive. But the moment she came up with her so-called marriage challenge, I had no idea it would backfire so dramatically. It began as a game, or at least that's what she called it. Claire had read about these relationship experiments online, where couples test each other's limits, improve communication, or try to reignite the spark in unusual ways. She suggested we participate in one of these challenges, fully convinced it would strengthen our marriage. At first, I was hesitant. I had never been one for social media trends or staged experiments. But Claire was enthusiastic, her eyes shining with the excitement of something new. I reluctantly agreed, thinking maybe this could be fun, or at least harmless. The rules were simple. For 1 month, we would keep a detailed journal of every interaction, analyze patterns in our moods, and even test reactions through controlled scenarios. Claire believed it would highlight hidden weaknesses, improve transparency, and make us stronger. I smiled politely, hiding my unease, but agreed to participate. The first week went smoothly. We laughed, shared stories, and surprisingly, the exercise brought some positive insights. But by the second week, things began to unravel. Claire became obsessed with documenting every gesture, every word, every facial expression. What had started as playful observation morphed into criticism, judgment, and relentless analysis. One evening, she confronted me over a minor comment I had made at dinner. "Ryan, you're being passive-aggressive again," she said sharply, holding a notebook filled with notes. "You need to be aware of how this affects me." I tried to explain that I hadn't intended harm, but she was already taking notes for her next evaluation. It was exhausting. Our conversations became tense, our interactions cautious, and the spontaneity that had once defined our relationship disappeared. Weeks passed, and the challenge consumed her. Claire began sharing updates with friends online, boasting about her meticulous tracking and marital discoveries. Colleagues at her work noticed her obsession, commenting on how consumed she was with what they called relationship experiments. Slowly, the admiration turned into concern. Then the consequences became unavoidable. Claire's constant focus on the challenge affected her job performance, her social relationships, and even her health. Friends stopped inviting her out, colleagues avoided her projects, and her reputation as a level-headed professional began to crumble. The challenge had shifted from a personal experiment to a public spectacle, and everyone could see the toll it had taken. Meanwhile, I realized something important. This wasn't just about me or our marriage. Claire's obsession with control and perfection had blinded her to reality. The challenge, meant to strengthen our bond, had isolated her completely. I tried to help, calmly suggesting we pause, take a break, and focus on genuine connection instead of analysis. But by then, the pattern was ingrained. She couldn't step back without feeling failure. One night, as we sat in silence, she finally admitted it. "Ryan, I think I've gone too far," she whispered, her hands trembling. "I just wanted to fix things, and now, everything feels ruined." I nodded, holding her hand. "It's not too late," I said gently. "But we have to stop the challenge. We need real conversations, real empathy, not experiments and notes." The following weeks were slow but healing. Claire stepped back from social media, returned her focus to work with a renewed sense of balance, and we rebuilt our connection without games or forced analysis. The challenge had been a lesson, but a costly one. I learned that attempting to control love through experiments, data, or manipulation rarely strengthens a relationship. Real connection requires patience, understanding, and trust, not observation, critique, or obsession. Claire learned this the hard way, and I learned how quickly good intentions can spiral into consequences when perspective is lost. By the time the month ended, our marriage had survived, but not without scars. The challenge backfired spectacularly, serving as a reminder that some ideas, even when well-intentioned, can spiral out of control when they replace empathy with analysis. Sometimes, the best way to protect a relationship isn't with rules or games. It's with patience, respect, and listening.